What's going on, world? Hope everyone's doing well. I thought we could check out the life and suffering of Sir Brante in times of the fall of the blessed Archnean Empire. Yeah, it's a little prologue chapter, chapters 1 and 2, I guess, of Choose Your Own Adventure style experience. Let's check out the credits. Give credit where credit is due. So yeah, I figured it'd be something different. Maybe we can make some poor decisions together. Hey, oh man. Hilarious. So yeah, hopefully everyone's doing well. Happy New Year to everyone. 2021. Comrade Colo. I don't know why I thought of freaking G.I. Joe. Mushroomer. I thought it said the Void Butter. It's like, I'd probably eat it with some toast. Hey. These people have cool nicknames. Well, Dan. Hey. Flame is cool. Tatiana. Almost every name right there has an OV in it. Ove, ova, ove. Stanislav. Barishnikov. I wonder if he gets the, are you related to Mikhail question. Moon donut with sprinkles. Isn't a basilisk like a freaking... Oh no, I'm thinking of a basilisk. Basilisk. Alright, all these people are great. The life and suffering of Sir Brante. Let's check it out. Oh. What's all this crap? You will not be able to go back to your previous chapters and change your decisions. This is the recommended game mode. You will live the character's life from start to finish and endure all the mistakes and misfortunes. Before you lies the story of a single man. You will take on the role of Sir Brante and determine his goal and fate in life from birth to his true death. Our hero is unfortunate enough to be born in a cruel and ruthless world. One that is different from ours in many ways that may not be immediately apparent. This means that you must be ready to learn the ways of this world, one step at a time. Your every decision will affect our hero's personality and family, his friends and foes, and even the outcomes of important events. The decisions you make will ultimately influence the state of affairs throughout the nation. When given a choice, choose whatever feels right for the world and for yourself. How will you live this life entrusted into your care? Will Sir Brante turn the tide of history, or will he be ground into dust by the millstone of fate? This is for you to decide. Oh. Year 1118, Chapter 1. Settings. Looks like there's 10 chapters, maybe? Nice. At the end of time. Your fingers are stained with ink. Your breathing grows ragged. Your hands are shaking. Yet the words begin appearing on the page before you one by one, clinging together to form a chronicle of your own life. Who are you, and how did you reach this end? You were born, raised, and lived your entire life in the blessed Archnean Empire. In this land, a man's identity is predetermined at the moment of his birth. Whether human or Archnean, nobleman, priest, or lowborn commoner, all bend to the divine will of the twin gods. And each life is naught but a single cog in the universe's immeasurable machine. The memories come flooding back. They engulf you as a merciless wave, binding together days that are thrice dead and gone. The dreams of your childhood, your adolescence, your youth spent in the capital, years of peace teeming with life, and a war drenched in blood. High ranks and lowly deeds, opulent palaces, secretive city backstreets, fields of battle, and faces, so many faces of the people you held dear, the people who walked this road by your side. Such was your life, now all exposed by ink erupting onto the page. With your every step, you sought to change the world as you saw fit. The choices of your upbringing, the path you carved in your youth, the fruits of your struggle, the consequences of your sacrifice, all of it led you to here, to the end of your time. And every choice had a price. Now, years and years later, the crossroads of your life echo in your memory. The pain and joy inextricably intermingled. Could you have taken a different path? Chosen a different calling? Found a different place in the world? You had the power to alter the very course of history. Now, on the verge of death, you struggle with doubt, seeking answers to the last and most crucial question of all. Your life. Of all the paths in life, why did you walk this one? Did you choose your own fate? Or was your life shaped by forces beyond your control? What determines a man's destiny? Oh. Your life has always been yours to live. Your path was charted for you by the people, the age, and the society in which you lived. Your destiny was forged by a power greater than your own will? Or destiny does not exist. Human life is an exercise in chance. It is not governed by any laws. You know, I'm going to choose destiny. Wow, really? The man himself. Oh. You can hear death's footsteps drawing near. You square your shoulders and take a deep, full breath. You have found your final answer. What is destiny other than a long chain of your own actions and decisions? No matter what happened in your life, you always had a choice. You lived the life you deserved. Only you can answer for it. But are you right about this? Is it all true? To learn the truth, you will have to return to the very beginning, remembering every step you took along the way. On these pages, the story of a man named Stephen Brante will live once more. Oh. Childhood, where life begins. First words, first unsteady steps. You are but a small child learning about the world in which you were born. To you, everything is so new, so baffling, and so unforgiving. A long, trying life stretches before you, so many feats and faults, so many fateful choices to come. Yet you are already sowing the seeds of your future self. You are learning to live and survive in this world, looking for a place within it to call your own. Choosing your future destiny. Who will you grow up to be? Important life events that may happen to you in this chapter. Eh. Alright, so we have the Noblemen Sacrament. You challenge the sacred order and attempt to seize a noble lot. Willpower. Perception. Suffer your first death. Or determination. I mean, we're a little kid, so let's either choose our first death or play with some ants. Let's play with some ants. Your personal qualities at this age, they determine what choices you make. The sections that open in this chapter. Okay. We're a lowborn. At first, there was nothing. No time, no sensation. Nothing but darkness and void. But then a will breathed life into nothingness. Matter and spirit were set in motion. History began its march. It was your turn to enter this world. Your first memory, you were lying on your back, blinded by a bright white light. Bright white light. You were not alone. Above you tower the colossal figures of those who created you. You are a part of them, and they are a part of you. Between you and them is an inexplicable connection, a strong, unbreakable link. They will always watch over you, guard you, and protect you. It hurts to breathe. You let out the pain in the form of a desperate scream. Your creators extend their hands towards you. There are two of them, the ones who made your form from their own selves and brought you into this world. They are united, yet as they lean closer, you begin to see how different they are. You can already feel their differences within you, struggling against each other. The first figure is soft and emphatic, wise and merciful. The love that emanates from it wraps you head to toe like an invisible blanket. The warmth from its never ending. The second figure is strong and powerful, commanding and noble. It is harsh but fair, a beacon of guidance, a force of protection, and merciless punishment for every misdeed. Yet, there is also a third figure. It is like a shadow barely seen behind them, yet already pulsing with an unbreakable will to live. It is the very will to live that is now growing even stronger within you. A soft open palm, a strong closed fist, a lingering distant shadow. You struggle to loosen the swaddling clothes wrapped around you and extend a tiny hand into the world. We'll reach out to the palm. I want some perception, baby. Your little palm awkwardly clasps the soft finger. You explore your mother's hands by touch. She smiles gently as her arms wrap around you and lift you up. She smells of home, that indescribable smell, that feeling of safety that is second to none. Her embrace is the warmest place in the world, a place you want to stay for all eternity. Your life in this world begins. How will you live it? As the days go by, you learn to tell your parents apart. You recognize Father by his heavy breath and strong, cold hands. He visits you rarely. Hello there, little Stephen Brante. Mother's tender voice, however, follows you day and night. My, you're growing so quickly, my child. There are two more children in the family named Stefan and Gloria. Ooh. Gloria sings songs to you. She often dresses you in tight clothing and gently holds your hands as you learn to take your first steps. Stefan likes to sweep you up and pinch you and toss you into the air. Oh, look, this is your brother and sister. Yeah, you're my little brother. We're gonna play together, but I'll always be in charge because you were born a commoner. I mean, we have literally the same name except for one vowel. Well, he's gonna get it. Be quiet, you. He doesn't understand yet. Come on, baby Steven. Let's go play in the yard. It's hot outside. You grip your brother's hand with one and your sister's with another as they help you walk down the giant stone stairs. Then you sit on the ground and start exploring the sparse blades of grass with your fingers. It tickles. In the sky far above and away from you is a gigantic pillar. A perfectly straight stick made of light. It is so bright it hurts to look at it. Why are you staring at this shining pillar? It's not going anywhere, you know. Hey, I want to play hide and seek. He's just a little baby. How's he gonna play? Then you hide him, and I'll try to find both of you. You have no idea what they're talking about, but you support them with happy cooing. This is strange, but so exciting. Stefan and Gloria glance at each other. Then your brother walks to a big tree, closes his eyes, and starts shouting something. Gloria takes your hand and walks you through the yard. Your sister takes you behind some thick bushes by a tall wall. The light from that light stick on the horizon barely reaches here. You can't see home from this place. The ground is crawling with tiny black bugs. Gloria sits you down on the ground and puts her finger to her mouth for some reason. And then she's gone. You can no longer hear Stefan's voice. Gloria is nowhere to be seen. You feel colder. The bugs are no fun to play with. You've been sitting here for a long time completely alone. Nobody checks on you. Did they forget about you? Did they abandon you? Willpower, determination, perception. I'm a perception kind of kid. The bush is covered with leaves swaying in the wind. You brush through them with your fingers. The twigs and branches are stiff and will not bend. They are different from the blades of grass. Down on the ground you see a group of bugs carrying a little twig. You grab it from them. They're so funny. One of the bugs crawls on your finger and bites it. Just enough to sting a little. You hear brisk steps, then the leaves and twigs rustling and parting. Your mother leans over you. You greet her with a happy face and show her the finger with the bug on it. So that's where they took you. Mother picks you up and puts you to her chest and pats you on the head. Your brother and sister stand behind her, clearly feeling guilty. Gloria's in tears. Stefan keeps staring at his feet. You hug Mother tightly. She is here now. Another memory. You are still a little child, but you can hardly talk and run around on your own. Today is out of the ordinary. Father is busy around the house giving orders to the servants. Throughout the day, the kitchen has been abuzz with work, and there are solemn, gloomy preparations and candles being lit. Even your older brother Stefan is quiet today. Mother takes your hand and brings you to Sister Gloria. My son, today is the great descent. We honor the day when the twin gods descended to us. We must spend this day in reverence to the gods. You are too young to understand, so just do everything your sister says for now. Gloria takes you to the playroom. There are no toys there, no chairs. Even the carpet has been taken away. There is nothing there but a bare wooden floor. Today we're not allowed to go to any other rooms, and we'll be eating nothing but gruel and stale bread. On the day of the Great Descent, everyone must be where they belong. It is quiet, unusually so. Muffled voices from beyond the door are all you can hear. You are sitting on the cold floor, confused, with no idea what to do. Then you hear your sister's voice, a lonely sound in the empty room. It is a little song that Mother taught her. You hold your breath as you listen to it. When the twins came down to earth, they brought lots for every birth. Let us count them. 1, 2, 3. The twins made them for you and me. Nobles rule and bravely fight. They protect us with their might. Priests work hard to understand, guide us by the twins' commands. Common people work and toil, always patient, never spoiled. Live your lot where you were born, to the day when you pass on. Know your lot and know the prayer, for the twins see everywhere. You are transfixed by the tune. Gloria notices your gaze, and a smile creeps across her face. You like the rhyme, don't you, Stephen? Do you know what it's all about? Look, there are 3 lots. They were brought to us by the twins when they descended to us from the shining pillar. Remember that pillar of light on the horizon? That's it. You can see the shining pillar anytime, from anywhere in the world. If you follow your lot as you live, you'll reach the peak of the pillar. And if you don't, you'll get eternal torment at the foot. You and I are lowborn. Mom is a commoner too. So the lot for you and me is to suffer and be patient and work hard. Understand? The priests and the nobles have other lots. The nobles fight and rule over everybody. The priests, well, I'm not really sure what they do, but I guess they talk to the twins and then teach everybody. Gloria stares at you intently. Did you get it, silly? Then she shakes her head and keeps singing the song over and over again. Her voice transfixes you, drawing you in. The room starts to glow like the sky. From this light emerge 2 figures you have known ever since the moment of your birth. One of them embraces your sister's shoulder. The other stands guard behind her back. You watch this happening before your very eyes, unable to turn away. Gloria is swaying to the song, unaware of what is happening. She sings the final verses once more. Know your lot and know the prayer. You feel compelled by this divine sight to express yourself somehow. You feel words condensing within you from the light. But what will those words be? perception kind of kitty. Know your lot and know the prayer for the twins, see everywhere. You sing the last line together with Gloria. Your sister looks up at you in surprise and gives you a nod. The shining pair standing behind her back turn to look at you. You can feel their gaze piercing you from top to bottom. When the moment passes, they melt into the dim light coming from the window. Gloria turns her head to look at where you were staring. Did you see something, Stephen? You shake your head. Not anymore. Year 1121, spring. The origin. You are starting to understand more and more of what the adults say. Your family is an unusual one. Your father is a nobleman, but not by birth. His is a title earned through great service. But your mother is a low-born woman, a commoner. Because of this, you were born a commoner. But father says you may yet come unto nobility. You learned to read at an early age. Together with mother, you read and learned by heart the many poems about the divine twins, the twin gods who reside upon the shining pillar. Mother calls these poems prayers. Again and again you try to discern the shapes of the gods in the strip of holy light that shines in the sky all day and night. But the light is too blinding to gaze upon. The greatest joy of all is when the stairs are no longer an insurmountable obstacle. Now you can climb and even jump from step to step. Father urges you to be more careful and avoid climbing too high. But even though you keep falling, you never stop being curious about the world around you. Your older brother, Stefan, now spends less and less time playing with Gloria and you. Playing with commoners is beneath a nobleman to be, he says. So Gloria calls him names, and Stefan pulls her pigtails. One fine evening, Father gathers you all in a sitting room with an announcement. You will have another little brother or sister soon. Gloria asks him to bring home a little sister. Another brother would be too much. Stefan gets frustrated. There are too many little siblings getting in his way already. Soon you will be an older brother too. It doesn't really matter who the youngest will be, boy or girl. You will love them the most. When Father comes back from his trips, he reads his adult books aloud for you. You find those stories of wars and generals and rebellions enchanting. And Father approves of your fascination. Study hard and maybe one day you'll become a noble of the mantle and earn your sword. But first you need to grow up. Growing up, the concept is as terrifying as it is alluring. The lot of suffering. You keep staring at the carpet under your feet. You are both ashamed and proud, and it feels odd. A scratch on your hand stings a little. Stefan is standing next to you, sniffling from pain. Your brother was training in the yard with a wooden sword. You wanted to play with him, but he ended up getting angry and throwing the sword at you. The stick hit you in the shoulder. You picked it up and hit him with it. You see Mother's shoes walking to and fro on the carpet. You do not want to look up. You would rather not see her angry. She is not as gentle to you these days. Why did you hurt Stefan, Stephen? You stammer out an explanation. He hit you first. You just hit him back. How dare you pester me like that? When I grow up, I'm gonna hit you with a real sword. Mother shushes you both and speaks to you again. Her voice is stern, and yet you can still feel her concern for you. Even if Stefan hits you, you cannot hit him back. You are my son, and I was born a commoner. Our lot is to suffer. But your brother was born from a noble father and a noble mother. His sacrament is coming soon, and then he'll rule over the likes of us. If you hurt a noble, you must be punished. That is your lot. And the sooner you learn it, the better off our entire family will be. Now Stefan looks at you in triumph. You look up at Mother in fear, not sure what to do now. We lose all of our willpower if we choose that. But our relationship get better. Y'all accept it. You look down and agree with what she just said. You are ready to be punished. You start apologizing to Stefan, but he turns his back on you. Before you can finish, Mother takes your hand and leads you away. You do not want to follow her. Your hands are getting sweaty and your legs are growing heavy. Then suddenly she stops and bends down closer to you, looks you straight into your eyes. My son, I see you understand our lot now. We do not defy, we suffer. That is our only path to the twins after all our deaths, our only way to reach eternal bliss. Our virtue is meekness. We are humble in our words. We work hard, we think what is right. You have shown all this. I'm so proud of you. She hugs you, and you finally release the pent-up tears. You feel much more at ease now. You are flogged in front of your entire family. The pain burns on your skin again and again, but you feel the touch of the divine law within each blow. Yeah. Huh. You better remember. Mother mostly stays in her chambers now. With each passing day, she grows heavier and her features get rounder. It gets difficult for her to walk, but she still smiles all the time. One day she takes your hands and put them on her big belly. and you feel a movement deep inside her. You will have another brother or sister soon. Gloria takes you on walks to the yard now. You explore the yard together under the evening light of the pillar, and she sings you songs and tells you amazing stories. Hey, Stephen, do you want to hear a rhyme? I wrote it myself. There's even a bit about you, but don't tell anyone, okay? Writing poems and songs is only for nobles. If Mommy hears about it, I'll get flogged. Remember how you got flogged for hitting Stefan? I do. Yeah. That's awful. Our judge is my second father. In the past, I had another. Mother says the twins are great. Says we should not fight our fate. Brother loves to jump around. Please don't fall down on the ground. See, I wrote a little rhyme. Please don't tell them it is mine. But today your sister is nowhere to be seen. She promised to take you to the old pond and show you the red frogs that live there. But then she vanished. The servants join you in your search. Even Mother leaves her chambers when she hears the commotion. Finally, you find Gloria in the far corner of the garden. She is holding a quill and sheets of paper covered in poetry. I was just like watching this move back and forth. Freaking hypnotized. Mother becomes angry the moment she sees it. She looks through the poetry and her face grows dark with rage. Gloria is standing before her, wringing her hands and looking for an opportunity to run. But there seems to be no escape. What is this nonsense, Gloria? We talked about this. You were told to take care of your little brother. You are absolutely not allowed to entertain yourself with this writing. I can decide that for myself, Mom. No, you cannot. It has already been decided by the gods. And he's not a little brother anymore. He doesn't need a nanny. And I need some time alone to think for myself. I'm not hurting anyone. You are a commoner and a future wife. It is time you learned how to properly care for children. Had your disgraceful former father kept me in his house, you could have been born a noble. But that is not our fate. And you are absolutely forbidden from ever spoiling paper and wasting ink again. Mother grabs Gloria firmly by the hand and takes you both into the house. The scribbled sheets fly into the fireplace. Gloria sobs violently. You are a bystander to this scene, unsure of how to act. Determination. Okay, I can only do perception and leave the room. You slip out of the sitting room and go back to the playroom before the scene reaches a conclusion. You can still hear Mother yelling, and Gloria crying behind your back as you leave. Back in the playroom, you start building a formidable fortress out of wooden blocks to busy yourself. If only you had toy soldiers to storm it. A little later, the playroom door opens. You're not mad at me, are you? You shake your head. Can I stay with you for a while? You nod and return to your game. Gloria sits on the floor in a faraway corner of the room. The coming sacrament. Mother's in her armchair knitting woolen jackets, pants, and socks for the little one. The baby will need to be kept warm, she says. Father spends less time at home now. Mother says he's very busy with his important job. He is a judge, after all. One day you decide to ask Mother about Stefan and Gloria. How come they're brother and sister to you, but not sibling to each other? Yeah. Well, my dear, I didn't give birth to Stefan, you see. He's the son of another mother, and Gloria is the daughter of another father. Come now, don't knit your brow like that. You'll understand when you're older. How is that even possible? You're all family, aren't you? Several days later, Mother called Stefan and Gloria to the sitting room. You sneak in after them. At first, Mother gets angry and asks you to leave, but then she relents. You are told to sit still, be quiet, and remember every word you hear. Maybe. When you enter the temple, bow to the twins. First to the elder on the right, and then to the younger on the left. You're a nobleman to be, so walk along the side paved with marble, where the benches are. Gloria, you walk along the sharp side. When you're there, you must get down on your knees, each on your own side. Stefan, kiss the sword. Gloria, my daughter, they will strike you with the lash. Don't be afraid of it. Resign yourself to the suffering it brings. It is the blessing of your lot. Gloria doesn't like the idea of the lash. There's a tense feeling in your chest as well. You were told to remember this. Will the lash strike you too one day? On the next day, they take your brother and sister to the temple. You run towards them when they finally come back. The back of Gloria's dress is soaked with blood. She's hunched a bit, sobbing quietly. Stefan is putting on airs, acting prouder than ever. Nothing else looks different about them. It's like everything's the same, and yet nothing is the same anymore. Each of them has accepted their lot. Your siblings Stefan and Gloria took their first sacrament at the temple. You eye the little bundle in your father's arms with curiosity. Behind the many layers of swaddling clothes is your newborn baby brother. Mother is glowing and smiling with joy. Stefan and Gloria are also here, all excited. You promise yourself you're going to be the best big brother in the world. You'll never hit him. Oh no. The two of you will play together and tease Stefan together and help Mother together and go on so many adventures together. It feels so strange to be an older brother. Just the other day, you were the youngest in the family. But everything is different now. Your parents name your little brother Nathan, and Mother spends day and night by his side. And Nathan cries all the time, day and night. Mother barely gets any sleep. She's so worn out, she starts forgetting things. Like today, for instance, she forgot her knitting in the armchair in the sitting room. You better bring it back. Better bring it back to her as soon as possible. Huh. You run to Mother's bedroom. You miss her smile so much. You walk in without saying hello and give her the knitting, but instead of gratitude, you get an ice-cold, exhausted stare. Nathan is also there, screaming all the time. Go away, Steven, you're bothering me. She spits these words out through her teeth. You look at the bawling newborn. Enough already. When are you going to stop? I just want some peace and quiet. Mother leaps across the room and starts shaking Nathan with malice in her eyes. His cries get even louder. She looks so tired from his never-ending screams. She seems to be within an inch of smashing him against the wall. Somebody has to do something. You're scared of your mother right now, but you fear for Nathan's life much more. Oh, give it a little hug. You walk up to Mother quickly and lock her tightly in an embrace. Your arms are too short, and the folds of her dress get in the way, but that does not stop you. She shudders at your unexpected touch and tries to free herself. Huh. Let me go. One child is too much for me already. Enough. But you only latch onto her tighter. There's no way you're letting her go now. Not even if she screams at you or hits you. No way. You are here now. You will protect her and comfort her. Nathan stops screaming, and an odd sobbing sound escapes his little baby mouth, as if he is too tired to scream. Mother accepts your sudden presence now. You feel her relax, and her movements become calmer. Yet there's still no way you're letting go. Not yet. Then you hear a quiet song, your mother's song. She is singing a lullaby to Nathan. Her squeak, he squeaks a little, then starts snoring quietly. Then you calm down as well. Mother is now calmer in your embrace. Nathan is breathing quietly in his sleep. Now please, let me go, my dear. I have to put Nathan to bed. You release Mother and she puts Nathan back in the crib. After a little pause, she turns to you. Her face is still weary, but there's no sign of anger. She sits down next to you. Thank you, my son. The twins know I don't want to hurt you or Nathan. I am so sorry. Please don't be angry with me. You did what you needed to do. You gave me the strength to work through this. She hugs you tightly. You do the same and press your forehead against her. She smells like home. Your tears finally start to flow, but they are tears of happiness now. She pats you on the head and kisses your forehead. Nathan is sleeping quietly in his crib. It feels so good when things are as they should be. "11:22. Your younger brother Nathan is born. Martika. You wake up to Father's touch on your shoulder. He's finally back home after a long trip. Stephen, today is your special day. The day when you begin your studies. Now teachers will be coming to our home to teach you, and you must do everything they say. Be diligent in your studies, and you will grow closer to the nobleman's lot. And since you must remember this day, a present is in order. Lydia, get our little schoolboy dressed. I'm taking him to the market district. Stefan wants to come with you too, but Father shushes him sternly. This is your day. Your elder brother is hurt to hear this, but stays quiet. An open carriage takes the two of you through the dusty, noisy city streets, a pleasant wind tussling your hair. Your city is called Anazat, that you already know. It is one of the largest cities in the entire empire. There is a big shadow on the street. It comes from the white foliage of an enormous tree that spreads its branches all above the city. My son, did you know that the silver tree grew from the blood of our gods' own disciples? It has been growing here for hundreds of years, right in our city. It cannot be damaged or burned. Not even the clergy know why. The carriage comes to a halt by a small shop next to a city square. You run there and freeze by the stalls in excitement. The shop is packed with dolls and figurines and toys. You've never seen so many at once before. Have you chosen your present yet? Father asks. You have. You want the Holy Order set, which includes several figurines of the Empire's greatest warriors of all time. You rattle off everything you know about the Holy Order. They were the ones who aided the Emperor's own forces in seizing the province of Magra and storming our city. That's how we joined the Empire. Father nods in approval. Very well. War isn't for your lot now. War isn't your lot for now, but maybe these toy soldiers will teach you to think like a general We will lead them into battle and study military strategy. Go ahead, take your present. Having said this, Father turns away to examine the books. You run to the box of toy soldiers, delirious with excitement. But there's a fancy-dressed boy in your way. He's about to take your warriors for himself. He elbows you aside and reaches for the box. Anger overcomes you and you push him from behind. Your opponent falls to the floor. The rich boy screams so loudly, everybody in the store hears it. He hit me! He hit me! A tall tower of a man looms over you. This is the boy's father. But then you feel your own father's hands on your shoulders. What happened? You press against Father, your mind more at ease now. He'll protect you. Yes, you shoved the boy to the floor in front of everyone, but he tried to take your present for himself. Father turns you around to face him when he hears these words. Is this true, Stephen? Did you strike the son of a nobleman? I mean, I want the willpower for sure, but determination's gonna be good. It isn't fair to blame you without letting you speak too. You didn't want to shove that stupid boy. He was the one who shoved you first. But the angry nobleman, the boy's father, will not let you finish. Nobody cares a whit for your so-called truth, little lowborn. The law is the law, and your punishment is due. Your father nods in agreement to these words, no matter how sad they may make him. Wow. They lead you and the nobleman's son out of the shop. You are told to bow to him and show humility. A bad feeling sends a shiver down your spine. With a satisfied grin on his face, the boy swings his arm and slaps you on the cheek. He strikes you again and again. Enough. He got what he deserved. We're leaving. Get out of our way. Your head is swimming from the heavy blows. You return to your senses back in your bed, with servants treating your face. Father stays by your side all day. The morning after, you find a little box in your bed with the tin soldiers of the Holy Order inside. You paid dearly for your stubbornness. Summer, the family dinner. Today, Father ordered the dinner table to be brought out into the yard. For the first time in months, he's home outside of the confines of his always locked study. He spent the entire day planning with Nathan and you, discussing various matters with Stefan, now an adolescent, and walking in the garden. And now at dinner under the open sky. Your entire family gathers together, with Father at the head of the table, smiling. He asks each of you about your studies. Nathan climbs up on his knee and recites a counting rhyme in a funny, singing voice. Stefan mentions that his fencing teacher praised his accomplishments. He rises from the table together with Father to show his skill in a practiced duel. Next comes Gloria's turn. She stands on her chair and recites a lengthy prayer by heart. Mother showers your sister with praise. Father chuckles quietly, hiding a smile in his mustache. When your turn comes, you recite all the ranks in the Legion, from common soldier to high commander. Stefan listens to you with a skeptical look on his face. Night slowly falls, but the servants ensure that the yard is well illuminated. You don't feel cold in the dusk tonight. It feels so good, so important. All of you are finally together, sitting at the same table. No fights, just smiles. No arguing, just pleasant small talk. Then a servant approaches father with a letter in his hand. He reads it in the dim light, and each line washes a smile off father's face until only a stone-cold mask remains. Mother looks at father with an unspoken question in her eyes. Gregor Brante is coming back to Anazat. He is the head of our family, and my father. Your grandfather, Gregor Brante, returned to the family home from the capital. Ever since the news of your grandfather's impending arrival, there has not been a single day when the house has not been cleaned or decorated. Your parents anxiously make sure everything is in order. They tell you to wash your face and hands after walks and scold you for leaving books on the floor. They tell Gloria she will be flogged if she is ever seen hiding in the attic. They make Stefan stay in his room. Even baby Nathan gets in trouble. Everyone is on edge. Then one day, grandfather arrives. It is a grim day, so hot your neck is sticky with sweat. Father, mother, Stefan, Gloria, you and Nathan. The entire Brante family stands on the porch in front of the house. The house servants lined up behind you. The carriage arrives, and out steps a tall, gaunt old man with a heavy walking stick and a heavier gaze. You cringe instinctively. Good health to you, father. Children, greet your grandfather as you have been taught. Still trying to look like a real nobleman, are you? You can't fool me, Robert. I was the first of the Brante family to be ennobled by the mantle, and I'm the only one who remembers how to bear this burden properly. I live honorably by my lot. Your marriage to that low-born wench cut us off from ever becoming nobles of the sword. My progeny could have been born bearing noble blood. Father, I beg you, this is not the place. Grandfather eyes him with scorn and walks into the house, the entire family following close behind him. I have been away far too long. The entire house is a mess. This is an insult. How can you live in such a pigsty, Robert? The servants have grown far too lazy, all thanks to your commoner of a wife. I warned you, did I not? And yet you did as you saw fit. And the children, what do they know of tradition or honor? They are being raised in a virtuous family, father. And now you're speaking like a lowborn is content to live in humility. Twins willing, now that I am here, this will not happen again. I am taking your oldest son to the capital. I see you cannot provide Stefan with a proper education, so I will correct your mistake. Your brother's fate has been decided just like that. Father does not object. He orders the servants to prepare Stefan for the journey. Stefan freezes in place, glancing at grandfather and father again and again. The latter puts a hand on his shoulder reassuringly. Grandfather's lips are a tight line, white with contempt. The house is examined room after room. Everything grandfather sees is showered with scorn. He scoffs at a crease on a blanket in Nathan's crib in Mother's bedroom. He mocks Gloria's knitting in her room. The door to your room is next. What is this, Robert? Tin soldiers in your younger son's room? He was born a commoner. I won't have him daydreaming of battle. Grandfather seizes the box containing the tin warriors of the Holy Order. Your father stays silent. Anger and fear boil within you. This is your big present from the first day of your studies. It means so much to you. But what if he's right? What if you need to prove your right to command the toy soldiers first? Grandfather shakes his head in disapproval and shoves the toy box into the roaring fireplace. If you wait too long, they will melt in the flames. I'm gonna hit that motherfucker. Overwhelmed by helpless rage, you run to your grandfather and kick him in the leg with all the strength you can muster. Yet he is immovable. The next thing you see is him leaning, towering over you menacingly, his heavy walking stick in hand. Lowborn scum, how dare you raise a hand to me? The blow hits home. The handle of the walking stick is as heavy as a rock. You are dazed, robbed of both hearing and sight. Down comes another blow. A sharp pain splits your head. Then darkness. Your hand twitches against your will, then again and again, like it is trying to catch a flying butterfly. And then you fall into the primordial void. The void takes away a part of you, one of the lives you were given to live. It will never return. There is pain and desperation and a sense of loss. Nothing can be done now. You fall into a pain that embraces you like a soft feather bed. You feel light, free. There are no restraints, just a warm glow that envelops you in its secure embrace. The waves carry you. Their touch is soft. They delicately enshroud what was once your body. It is a feeling unlike anything you've ever experienced before. Something absolute and complete. You touch something greater, the reason behind everything, the reason for your very existence. You were sculpted from this light. It was the first thing you ever felt, a boundless and sincere unity of the diverse. Your beginning was a spark that cast this light in all directions, and now you are here again, one with the beginning of everything. The light gleaming from you resembles the light of the shining pillar. You still see it in the north as always. The waves of light carry you to two figures. The elder is nearest. He is ready to accept you. He is quiet, wise, kind, and pure. The younger waits further back. You do not know what he is yet. The waves pause at the elder's feet. He leans over you and plants a feather-like kiss on your forehead. The kiss spreads all over you. You are filled with unparalleled delight and bliss. You exist. You are unique. There is no one else like you. They know this, and they love you. You will never be alone. You are part of them, a part of your family, a part of this universe. The twin gods will never leave you. They watch over you constantly. The elder softly touches you as you lie spread out amongst the waves, sending you further down the torrent of light. You float on to the top of the silver tree's spreading crown. The closer you get to the silver tree, the heavier you become. The waves draw you down along its trunk, but you do not wish to part with the warmth and the softness, with the love. You turn around. The elder is still watching you. He nods. All is as it should be. Go. Your time has not yet come. You must return to the world now. As you tumble down towards your body, you comprehend the true meaning of your lesser death and the divine love that has been revealed to you. Love exists not only in the hereafter, it is present in the entire design of the twins that is the origin of all life in this world. What is the manifestation of this love in your mortal life? The manifestation of this love. A sudden comprehension of the love with which the entire world is imbued illuminates your mind. But then it fades away and vanishes. You regain the sensation of your flesh. It is heavy and unwieldy. It lacks that lightness, that light. It is a burden. It is smothering you. You gasp for air. Your chest expands painfully. You feel as though your lungs are about to burst. The stagnant odor of the crypt fills them. Revolting, but so real. You are back. Then you smell a sickly, moist smell. You feel dampness all around you. You come back to your senses in the gloom of the family crypt, lying flat on a stone slab. Your parents are on their way to the crypt right now. You hear their muffled voices. They are arguing. And, against all rules, Mother will not agree with Father. Why would Sir Gregor do this? He just took one of our child's lives. Lydia, my father is our family's head, and the boy raised a hand to him. There was nothing we could do, and Father did admit that he was too hard on him. Please do not anger Sir Gregor. You need to accept this. It will never happen to any of our children ever again. Their voices grow quiet as they lean over you. You lean on your elbows to try and get up from the stone. Mother gingerly wraps her cloak over your naked body as you shiver from the cold. My son, your first death came far too soon. I know it may be difficult to realize what happened, but know this: the twin gods are ever merciful. You are a child, and your time to leave for the hereafter has not yet come. You will be returned here by the gods twice more. But do not tempt fate again, and never, ever defy those who can easily take your life. Stephen, you have angered your grandfather greatly. Do not stand in Sir Gregor's way ever again, and he will never hurt you again. For now, just stay away. Father stays a step away from you, not saying a word. When Mother finishes talking, he picks you up and carries you outside. Together, your parents take you from the family crypt. On the way out of the crypt, you take a moment to touch your head. It is perfectly fine. There is no sign of the blow. Back home, Grandfather is still walking through the house, examining the rooms. You can see that Stefan and Gloria are disturbed by what just happened. Nathan starts crying when he sees you. The playroom still reeks of burnt paint. There is something new about you now, a pitch-black stripe on your left arm. It looks like a strange bit of dirt at first, but it will not wash off. It will be like that forever, Mother explains. That is all she will say of it. All right. Your younger brother Nathan is growing. Mother spends more time with the rest of the family now. You help her and play with your brother and take care of him when she asks. You often go to Mother's room to sit at the foot of her bed after Nathan falls asleep. She reads you the sacred books and asks you about the things you learned that day. During these moments, you see the world through her eyes as well. One day the door of your room opens and she brings in a large box covered with a piece of cloth. It is rare for you to see her so overjoyed. She sets the box on the floor and removes the cloth. The box under the cloth is made of glass and has a wooden base. Inside you see a layer of earth shaped into carefully crafted passages. And these passages are full of hard-working ants. Stephen, this is my gift to you, an ant farm. It is a little world in a small box. We can watch them through the glass. Look, this is the queen ant. She is the reason all these little ants were born. You sit by the box together. You hold your breath as you watch the ant colony at work. There turns out to be a method to the ants' chaotic movements. Every single one of them has a task to perform. Some of them have larger mandibles. They are the protectors of the colony. They can draw blood from your finger. Others work around the colony, repairing the walls and clearing any debris from the passages. They are also workers who collect food you put in a special tray. Leaves, bits of meat, maggots, and bring it to the rest of the colony. You take a worker ant and put it right next to the food. However, the insect has no interest in it. It starts circling around the tray aimlessly. Mother takes the stray ant and puts it back where it belongs. Why did you do that, my son? The ants cannot do what they weren't born to do. Each of them was born for their own job. You shake your head slowly. If only the ants could do whatever you wanted them to. This is your gift now, so they belong to you. Or maybe Mother's presence isn't the reason they won't bother you. Might as well play with Mom while she's alive. Mother's look is full of warmth and love. Nathan, Gloria, and Father are away right now. For the first time in a long while, it's just the two of you. And Mother takes great joy in watching over the ant farm. She shares her knowledge of the world with you. The things she tells you are true. You move closer to her and suggest going outside and finding some bugs for the ants. She agrees to this happily and holds your hand as you leave the house. Soon you are busy catching bugs and sharing your thoughts on how the ants will feed the colony with them. From time to time you laugh together, making up stories about errant flies and caterpillars overthrowing the ant kingdom. You and Mother hold hands as you return to your room. She can't help but smile. It is a faint smile, a child's smile, a smile full of sunlight. You are so happy to have seen the world through her eyes today. Soon, Grandfather leaves. Your elder brother Stefan goes with him. From that day on, Father's hired teachers tend to you alone. They bore you with monotonous lectures on writing, counting, and the way of life of the blessed Archaean Empire. You often distract yourself from their instruction by playing with your younger brother Nathan. Your home grows quiet without your elder brother. Too quiet. Weeks later, your family receives a letter from Stefan. Grandfather has sent him to a boarding school for nobles, and he is now studying hard in preparation for his service as a nobleman. The rules here are way too strict. You can't even sneeze without the teacher's permission. But I've been studying with my peers. We're learning how to live as nobles in a society of nobles. We're also learning the art of swordplay. That's my favorite part. With Stefan now at the boarding school, Grandfather arrives once more. This time to live in your home. The only good thing is that he often has urgent business in Eterna, the capital of the empire, and has to travel there. One day you ask Mother where he lived before. In Eterna, she says, but now his place is here. Each time Grandfather returns, he gives the servants new orders. Your home is now always busy with repairs. The servants are redecorating Grandfather's chambers, including his library and sitting room. Sometimes Father tries to gently talk him out of this. Why subject the house to constant reconstruction? Grandfather's answer is always the same. This home is mine, and I will live here as befits a man of the nobility. Some days grandfather stays home, and on those days you try your best to stay out of his sight. But there's no way you can avoid family breakfast. The food is there, but you cannot bring yourself to eat it. Mother's eyes are red and swollen. She's been crying all night again. Grandfather sits at the head of the table, where nobody used to sit before. Robert, it is high time your youngest sons underwent their sacraments. Sir Brante, please let them live free of the lot for a while longer. Shut your mouth. Robert, that wife of yours is impertinent enough to interrupt me. If this ever happens again, she'll be eating her gruel with the servants in the kitchen where she belongs. It is time you considered a real marriage, Robert. One to a woman of the proper station. Gloria drops her fork. Grandfather shoots her a scathing look. A tear rolls down Mother's cheek. Father does not look away from the plate, his hands clenched into fists. Baroness L. Lodar is such a woman. She is a comely widow and a fine match. She is suing for her inheritance right now and could use proper support and a husband. You can keep your lowborn Lydia around if you like. Servant, kept woman, lover. I don't care. I will not do that, Father. I am the head of this family, and the family's standing took a severe blow after you married that commoner. It is unthinkable. How could you give up the memory of beautiful Amalia Elborn for this lowly woman and that bastard child of hers? But now you have a chance to set things right. Don't disappoint me. Father nods curtly, trying to not look in Mother's direction. Father, I wish to see Stefan. If I find your conduct in the Baroness's presence satisfactory enough, then you may see him. She is coming for a visit tomorrow. Be prepared. Grandfather wipes his mouth with his napkin, throws it onto his plate, and leaves. Mother's lips move silently. Father comes to your room before bedtime. He sits on the edge of the bed and adjusts a crease on the woolen blanket. Huh. He distanced himself from you after Stefan's departure, so you're not used to such attention from him. In the candlelight, you can see his face in the dark. There's a sour expression on it. My son, Baroness Emma L. Lodar, will be visiting us tomorrow. Please be polite and treat her with respect. Nathan will do as you do. I want this dinner to be as immaculate as possible. Don't let me down. On the next day, Mother starts dressing you and Nathan for the coming dinner. I was like looking at the pictures and everything. She's been crying for a long time. It hurts just to look at her. Nathan starts whining quietly. You and Nathan are dressed in new doublets, your tousled hair brushed into shape. Gloria is told to stay in her room. Father appears wearing his best suit. Mother is in a humble brown dress, looking pale. Grandfather has an uncharacteristically contented look about him. You hear the sound of wheels and hooves against the cobbles in the yard. Then a pair of dainty heels come clacking. The antechamber is completely quiet and still. Fearing grandfather's observant eye, the door opens. You see your guest, a beautiful dark-haired woman in a dress of elegant deep blue. Father takes the hand of Lady Elodar and kisses it, showering her in compliments. Grandfather's face is beaming in her presence. No one even bothers to introduce Mother. Baroness, allow me to introduce you Robert's sons, Stephen and Nathan Brante. Frankly, it's his eldest, Stefan, who deserves the most attention. But currently he is studying in Eterna with other young noblemen. It is my hope that his younger sons will also make me proud one day. Grandfather eyes you with a probing look. How will you act in front of the Baroness? Will you accept her here next to your mother? Your father's rightful wife. You follow father's example and kiss the Baroness's fingers gently. Our laughter fills the antechamber, ringing like chimes. You gallantly offer to lead her to the sitting room. Lady Elodar graciously agrees. Grandfather and Baroness Elodar engage in small talk over dinner. She tells him of the woes of litigation over her late husband's inheritance, and he advises her like the judge he is. Father is mostly silent, only getting in a word or two. You do your absolute best to behave yourself. After the decorous farewells to Lady Elodar, Father quietly thanks you for your model behavior. The morning after he leaves for Eterna with Grandfather to visit Stephen. Mother spends almost an entire day in her bedroom. You cannot bring yourself to speak to her. Father returns from the capital in a quiet rage. You overhear your parents talking. Apparently, Grandfather has already poisoned Stefan's mind against him, and he greeted Father with cold hostility. The name of Baroness Elodar is never mentioned in the house again. Everything looks like a bullet. Father now checks on your studies often and nitpicks you for sitting or eating or speaking in an incorrect fashion. Once he becomes so annoyed, he says that he wishes Stefan had been the one to stay home instead of you. You never expected to hear these words from your father, of all people. Grandfather's trip to the capital took longer than expected. It feels lighter around the house without his presence. You allow yourself a little change of scenery. Instead of your room, you now busy yourself with reading and calculations in the sitting room across from the open door to the yard. Gloria has joined you today. She has already helped you progress through several complex passages in the book. Right now, she seems preoccupied with the strange tube. Aren't you hurt by the way Grandpa treats you? You ask. Gloria just shrugs. Grandfather always says that they should get rid of me. I'm used to it now. He hurts you a lot worse because you're closer to him. I just have to stay out of his way, that's it. She shows you the strange tube she's been holding all day. Look, it's a kaleidoscope. I got it as a gift. Want to see inside? Excited by the idea, you close the book and peer into the tiny hole on one end of the tube. Your eyes see a multitude of intricate patterns. Each turn of the tube reveals a new web of interwoven colors. They mesmerize you. The kaleidoscope turns the fire burning in the fireplace into a cavalry made of flames. You are riding at the front of the fiery horseman, ready to face the enemy. Grandfather's face emerges from the intersecting lines, and you swing the kaleidoscope like a sword, cutting it in half. Now you look at the blue sky through the window. The patterns are unending, secretive and calm and peaceful, just like Father's smile before Grandfather's invasion. The deep blue gives way to a scattering of gold, radiating gentle warmth, like Mother's arms. This fleeting beauty, too, soon gives way to a hypnotic new pattern. Again and again, you see your family and these interconnecting figures as they come together and break apart. And in the middle of this golden glow, you see Gloria's green eyes, gazing at you observantly. Your sister left you long ago. The books are abandoned, and time slips away unchecked. But you are still busy peering into the kaleidoscope. Order emerges from the chaos before your eyes again and again, but you cannot preserve it, no matter how you try. You are caught in an inner conflict. There is so much that can be done with this kaleidoscope. Should you take it apart, or ask Gloria how it works, or keep enjoying the patterns it shows you? But you still have lessons to do today. Keep looking, baby. You continue peering into the ever-changing patterns the kaleidoscope offers you. They become truly interesting when you point it at the shining pillar, gleaming in the sky. In your mind's eye, one battle follows another, filling your ears with clanging steel and the neighing of horses. You are leading the Imperial Army now. Everybody is so proud of you. Grandfather says you are better than Stefan. And your father's stern voice cuts your daydream short. You lost all track of time. It is evening now. How did you get your hands on this toy, Stephen? Why aren't you studying? Give it to me. You will have double the lessons tomorrow. Grandfather's visits are no longer a cause for fear and panic in the house. He has become something you are used to, something nagging, yet not unordinary, like a splinter or a stain on your trousers. The tension still remains, however. Grandfather's disdain for everyone in the house is so palpable, it almost stings for real. Your lessons with the tutor are done for today. You're walking down the stairs when you spot Gloria peeping into the sitting room through a slightly open door. You sneak up on your sister and tap her lightly on the shoulder. She is startled. Oh, it's you, Stephen. Look, Grandpa's eating something. Grandfather is sitting on the sofa, flipping through a book with one hand and reaching for a glass bowl with another now and then. Inside the bowl you see candied fruit, a sweet confectionery forbidden to the common estate, like all sweet things. Yet Grandfather's face shows no pleasure as he keeps consuming the high-born treats. The clock strikes 3. Grandfather rises from his seat, puts away the bowl on a shelf, and leaves for the yard. He always takes a walk in the city at this time. Gloria nudges you with her elbow and looks at the candy bowl when you look at her. The first emotion you feel is fear, but next comes curiosity, and it is stronger. Stefan used to boast that candied fruit tastes incredible, and now you have a perfect opportunity to try it. You try a candied fruit first. The sugar starts to melt as soon as you put it on your tongue. It is so sweet. You have never eaten anything as good as this. You take the whole bowl off the shelf and give it to your sister. She takes a fruit and brings it to her mouth, carefully, like a rare treasure. There's a thumping on the stairs, footsteps accompanied by a knocking of a walking stick. You have no idea why, but Grandfather is back. You quickly hide behind the sofa and pull Gloria after you, but she is frozen in place with the bowl in her hands. The door opens. Grandfather's menacing figure advances on Gloria. His hand seizes her arm. You squalid, ungrateful, low-born child. How dare you bite the hand that feeds you? You and your trollop of a mother would be sleeping in a ditch if it weren't for my spineless son. The sweet and pleasant things in life are for the noble estate, not for the likes of you. Did you forget your lot? His hand swings and hits Gloria on the cheek. She falls to the floor right next to where you're hidden. Her fingers glisten with the warm, melted sugar that brought you here. Grandfather advances again, his walking stick ready. But then he sees you huddling behind the armchair. Please don't hurt him, Sir Brante. This is all my fault. He tried to stop me. You can already see a bruise on Gloria's cheek. This is only the beginning of her punishment. Gloria was caught red-handed, unlike you. You can still avoid your punishment. What is this then, Milksop? Did you try the sugar too? Or were you trying to stop this piece of filth like she says? Tell the truth. You stand up and tell the truth, even though it takes you an effort to do it. You actually ate a candied fruit, but Gloria only touched it. You hope this will help your sister avoid punishment. You are quickly proven wrong. Grandfather's face is red with rage. He strikes you both with his walking stick, blow for blow. He keeps hitting you until he grows tired, and then he leaves you where you are. Soon enough, Mother comes in to find the two of you on the floor, too afraid to move. She shakes her head in disappointment. You are badly hurt and covered in bruises, yet she still forces you to kneel and recite the precepts on the lots and how important it is to follow them. Then you stand before father and grandfather and swear never to take things that do not belong to you again. Father and mother have been focused on Nathan and you since early morning. Instead of breakfast, you were told to say your prayers, wash your hands and faces, and get dressed in plain white shirts. Today is the day of your sacrament. No playing today. You and Stephen are big boys now. It is time for you both to have your first sacrament. No one can live without a lot. I don't want a lot. Be quiet and listen. You were born commoners, so you must accept a low-born lot before the twins. When you grow up, you will get a chance to earn a noble lot. Father and mother take you to the carriage. Nathan is hungry. He starts whining. Grandfather is the last to get into the carriage. His eyes are on you and your brother, looking for every fault. Soon the carriage is moving along the streets of Anazat, slowly and solemnly. One more turn and you see the colossal white building marked by two massive pillars. For the first time in your life, you are to enter the Church of the Twin Gods. You enter the gate and walk under the splendorous dome of the church. The church hall is divided into two halves. They are drastically different from one another. The floor on one side is rough and jagged and covered in dried brown spots, while the floor on the other is made of smooth marble. The commoners kneel on the jagged floor, and the well-dressed nobles and their families sit on pews. Father and grandfather leave you to sit on one of the nobles' pews. Mother walks to the rough stone of the commoner's side and gets down on her knees. You see her wince in pain, for the lowborn estate shall suffer in the house of faith. The church acolytes surround you and lead you to the altar, where you and other children will take your sacrament this day. Before you stands a tall priest dressed in black with a sword in one hand and a hefty whip in the other. Nathan's whining grows louder. He dislikes his place. He is scared. You remain quiet, but your stomach roils in uneasy anticipation. The first child to take the sacrament is a jaunty little boy from a family of nobles. The priest extends the sword before him and recites the words of his lot. From this day forth he will fight and rule and pursue the arts. His mind now forever free from the throes of suffering. For he now belongs to the noble lot. The boy proudly touches the flat of the blade with his lips. Nathan is next to receive the sacrament. He suddenly snaps out his fearful trance and tries to break free, but the acolyte pulls him towards the altar and throws him on the jagged floor of the lowborn side. The sharp edges bite into Nathan's knees as he lands, spraying drops of red around him. I don't wanna. Stephen, why do they want to whip me? What did I do? You try to break free and run to Nathan's side. You want to give him courage and protect him, but the acolyte's grip on you is too firm. You feel utterly helpless. Your little brother has to face the world all by himself. The priest starts reciting the words of the lot as he swings the lash over Nathan's shoulders. From this day forth, Nathan, thou shalt endure and work and suffer. Thou shalt be ardent in thy labor and humble in obedience to thy rulers. And now cometh thy first true suffering, which thou must accept with gratitude. The lash cracks. It strikes his right shoulder. It strikes his left shoulder. The blows are so powerful that Nathan falls to the floor. The priest tells him to rise. He has received his lot. Nathan gets on his feet and drags himself towards Mother, his knees torn and bloodied, his spirit broken. It is your turn. Your feet will not move. You can barely muster enough strength to walk to the altar. You get down on your knees and feel the sharp stones below. So sharp your clothing cannot protect you. Your skin begins to burn. The acolyte forces your head down, and you feel the lash being drawn above you, ready to strike. The priest's words are for you now. This is thy sacrament. Thou shalt work and endure and suffer. Thou art about to receive thy first true suffering by the sacred lash. Dost thou accept thy lot? You know, it's all bad, really. I'll accept it. The moment before the lash reaches you stretches out into an eternity. Its sound approaches you slowly as it slices through the air. The whip cracks. It strikes you on the right shoulder. The lash is so heavy it bends your back and forces you to the floor. The lash cracks again. It hits you on the left shoulder. There is blood running down your back. Rise now, commoner, the priest tells you. You stand. Everything looks blurry. You can barely walk on the sharp floor. Mother takes your hand and leads you away from the altar. There is agony, but there is also unfathomable tranquility. This is right. This is what you deserve. This is how it should be. This is the way of the world and its laws. From this day forth, you will accept all suffering in life with humility and patience. For you are a commoner. The mark left on you by the sacrament takes a long, long time to heal. Mother says it's a reminder of your lot, suffering and sufferance, pain and patience. Gloria shows you the mark of the lash on her shoulder one day. It will never disappear. Pardon me. Hey. You are a commoner now. This is the lot you were born into. But Father keeps telling you to study hard so you may yet earn a different lot and become noble of the mantle. You recall the past with warm sadness, when Stefan still lived with you, or when he wrote to you for a time shortly after he left. Now he thinks it beneath him to write to the commoners and his family. Mother didn't lock herself in the bedroom as often back then. This changed shortly before Nathan was born. But, most importantly, you missed the time before the terrifying figure of your grandfather was constantly looming over you. You learned the true power of the lot only after the head of family's arrival. In grandfather's eyes, no commoner deserves to be treated with kindness. Is this just him, or is it the way of the entire world? The very thought makes you queasy. You are older now, and what's more, you are an elder brother now. You've learned how to care about someone else, how to teach and protect. Soon you are a small boy no longer. As the days pass, play gradually gives way to laborious study. Now your choices will decide your place in this bizarre and ruthless world of adulthood. Your childhood years are over. Lowborn. Personal qualities that you have accumulated in childhood. They will convert into adult qualities at the end of Chapter 2. We're perceptive and willpowerish. Hey! Alright, end of Chapter 1. If you made it this far, you're freaking crazy. I appreciate it. We'll see you later.